Hi, I'm Andy Wassef, author of Hollywood Primer, Everything You Need to Know Before Moving to Los Angeles, and Traffic Crooner. Today I wanted to talk about giving criticism to your artist friends. It sounds a little easier than it actually is. Living in Los Angeles, whether you're an actor or not, if you make any friends, you will be invited to see plays, improv sets, stand-up sets, short film screenings, basically anything your friends do. They're going to ask for your thoughts, whether on Facebook, or in person. What did you think? You see, artists are notoriously protective of their craft and usually insecure. So your goal is not so much to give them feedback as it is to stoke their ego. The number one thing you should know is some people ask for criticism when all they really want is validation. Basically, you're going to give notes on performances or scripts. Performances have already happened. So chances are your notes aren't going to really be taken because the show's over. If the run is still going on, yes, they could. If it's a stand-up act, it can always be improved. Here's what you say to an actor. And this is industry standard. The show was great, you were fantastic. And if the show wasn't that good, the show was okay, you were great. Either way, the person you're telling, great. Doesn't matter if they weren't great. If you really like them, you'll give specifics. I love this, I love that, that was fantastic. You will see some good shows, but the majority of shows, that's why there aren't 8 billion stars in Hollywood, and there are only 808 billion people trying to become stars. If you have a close friend, you can be very open and honest. There are times when just saying you were great is the best approach. Most of the time you're going to see a clunker. Never qualify the effort. Well, that was good for a first performance. I've been doing this for 3 years. Oh, I meant first performance in front of... Is that George Clooney? It is not your responsibility to fix them. You can take baby steps if it is a project that they are continuing to work on by giving them some constructive criticism. But if the performance is over, show was great, you were fantastic, you were the best thing about the show. I wouldn't have gone to see the show if it wasn't for you, so I'm going to say that you were great. It's a waste of my time otherwise. Script notes. Always start off with 2 good things and 1 bad thing. Never start with the bad. Always say, I laughed out loud several times, as opposed to, there's nothing funny about it. If there's a problem, always try to come up with a solution. If they're good writers or good actors, they'll weed through all the comments and find out what the legitimate ones are or what the ones that keep coming up again and again are. Basically, you want to be honest but gentle. Eliminate words like few and major. There are few major issues that you need to fix. First of all, few is more than one, and that's going to make their head spin a little bit. Second of all, major is the opposite of minor, and that will also keep their head in orbit. Also, keep the hyperbole to a minimum. This is the greatest script I've ever read. May be true, but you don't want to get their hopes up. Because what you think is the greatest script ever, there will be a dozen people who agree and a dozen people who disagree. But just say, this is fantastic. I love it. I hope it sells. And when you're getting feedback, be sure not to be that guy who gets defensive. Well, obviously you didn't understand what I was doing because it's clear when I was writing it, I knew what I was doing and you don't get it, so it's your fault, of course. If you have to tell one person what they don't understand, imagine telling an entire audience. Folks, I'm sorry to stop the show right here, but let me explain why you didn't laugh at that joke. That just turns it into a contentious conversation, and the person you're asking is not going to ever want to give you feedback again. And finally, paying for feedback. There are going to be so many consultants and freelancers that are willing to help you, and they know the answer. They know exactly what to do to your script or your performance. Paying all that money does not guarantee that you are going to be a success. So that's how you give feedback without alienating your friends. Thank you very much, and subscribe to this channel for all the vlogs about moving to Los Angeles.